Hi, welcome back to Sharp Tooth Outfitters TV. I'm your host, Mike Gemstone, and on this beautiful day, we're going to be continuing our Fishing Basics video series. Here in part 4, we're going to look at how to use your reel, as well as cover some basic casting techniques to help you get your bait out there and catch the big one. Stay tuned. So let's get started with our practice session today. We've got our basic rod and reel setup that we've covered in our previous videos. And what we've done for practice purposes, we've taken our basic rig that we showed you as well in part 3, and we've removed the hook. So we just have our bobber. This will give us a nice practice weight. We don't have to worry about the hook getting tangled while we do our practice casts. Now, before we get started with our casting practice, I want to take a look at the reel itself and show you a little bit about how this works. Now again, I call this your basic push button reel, and you will hold the rod with your hand, almost like you're shaking hands with the butt of the rod, and using your thumb, you will press this button. Now when you press the button, the line does not come off of the reel. When you release the button, however, then the line is free to come off of the reel or off of the spool on the inside of the reel. Now to retrieve the line, simply take the handle and start to turn. You'll hear a click, there it is, and as you turn, this will then begin to reel in the line. So to show you with our bobber in hand, when I pull on the line, okay, doesn't move, press the button, doesn't move. When I release the button, then I'm free to release the line, and then to retrieve the line, simply take the handle and begin to turn, and that will bring, there's our bobber, up it goes, the line back onto the reel. So that is the basics of how to use the reel itself. All right, now that we understand the basics of how to use the reel, let's talk a little bit about some casting techniques. Now, to get yourself started, I recommend that your bobber be about 2 feet from the tip of your rod. Now we're going to use the rod to help swing the bait, almost like a catapult, if you will. And in order to do that, we're going to use a little bit of timing, a little bit of technique. Again, very simple and easy for you to learn with a little bit of practice. And what I will do, take the rod, press the button and hold the button. Now, I will then bring the rod back. You can use 2 hands or 1 hand, whatever you're comfortable with. And as I bring the rod forward, I will, when the tip is then in front of me, let go with my thumb of the button, like this. There you go. Now, you don't have to swing your rod super hard. We're not trying to cast a mile. In fact, sometimes that ends up with a tangled mess on the end of your line. So give it a light touch to start, especially when you're first learning how to cast. I'll then just reel up my line, there's my bobber, and cast again. Now that you understand the basic mechanics of making a cast, I want to show you another method you can use. Now a moment ago, you saw me with a sideward motion. Sometimes, especially when fishing from the bank where you have brush and bushes around you, that's not an option. So another technique you can use is an over the head cast. So what we do, again, press our button, bring the rod over and behind us, and then with a sweeping motion forward, release that button halfway through, and there's our overhead cast. Now that you've got the fundamentals of casting, I want to show you one more technique that can be very useful to get your bait in just the right spot with a delicate presentation. We call this pitching or flipping your bait. Now what I'll do, I will press my button and let a little bit of extra line out so that my bobber, my bait, hangs about 4 or 5 feet from the tip of my rod. I will hold the button with my thumb, and I will hold the line right above my reel with my opposite hand. Using a pendulum type motion, swinging motion if you will, I'll let this bait come back and forward. As it comes forward, I will let go with my thumb in my hand and delicately flip that bait out in front of me, and I can precisely place it in just the right spot. Now, here's some extra information for those of you who have decided to go with a spinning reel and rod combo. Now, in order to use this reel and rod, what you will do, just like we had with our other rod, basically shake hands at the handle, and using your pointer finger, you will grab the line as such. Then using your opposite hand, open the bail. With the bail flipped open, once you release your finger, that is like releasing the button on our other reel. That allows the line to freely come off of the spool. In order to retrieve our line, we can take two steps. Either A, turn the handle, which will close our bail up for us, or alternatively, with the bail open, we've made our cast, we can use our opposite hand to close that bail and then begin to retrieve our line. Now, our casting technique is very similar. We just instead use our finger instead of our thumb on the button. Take your line, open the bail, bring that rod back, and as you come forward, I let go with my finger, and off comes my line and out goes my bait. Now that you have a basic understanding of how to use your new rod and reel combo, and you've had a chance to practice your casting, it's time to get some bait and do some fishing. Thanks so much for joining us at Sharptooth Outfitters TV. Make sure you check us out online, sharptoothoutfitters.com. You can also find us on Facebook. Click that thumbs up, leave us a like, and you can check out our YouTube channel, Sharptooth Outfitters, where you can subscribe and get all of our great content. Thanks again for joining us. I'm your host, Mike Gemstone. Take care. Good shooting.